All right, guys, we have the thumbs up from Rick. Thank you, Rick. I call to order this meeting of the Chattanooga City Council for Thursday, August 19th, 2025. I'd like to invite Councilman Davis to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of prayer. Father, we lift up to you today all of those who have been affected by the flooding in our city this past week. God, we just pray that you would bless them as they recover. And we also, though, give you thanks and praise for the many ways we've seen your Spirit at work in this city through your people over this past week, for the many acts of braveness, bravery, kindness, generosity from our first responders,
Amen.
our city officials and employees, our churches and nonprofits, and just individual citizens. God, we thank you for all of these ways that you've been at work amongst us. And finally, we pray that you would guide and direct this council today, and pray that your name would be glorified in all that we do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, I'm now going to turn the chair over to our budget chairwoman, Councilwoman Rakita Dotley, for the public hearing on our 2026 budget amendment.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and being committed to civic engagement. So just a reminder, we'll call this public hearing to order. This is a public hearing for the fiscal year 2026 budget amendment. The mayor's proposal intent to exceed the certified tax rate to 1.93. So first we will start out with Chief of Staff Kevin Rogue. He's going to come and do a brief updated presentation regarding the mayor's budget amendment proposal.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair, and I also want to thank everybody for being here, whether you support or you're here in opposition of 193. I think it's great that everybody's here. Bible says that in an abundance of counsel, there's success, and I know that when we get to the end of this process, we're going to land in a successful place, and we are going to hopefully move in that direction some more today. So just to recap, the Kelly administration did come out and adjust down the initial rate of 199 to 193, but the fundamentals are all still the same. We're trying to find the right balance between affordable property taxes, reliable services, and community improvements. And I made this graph 5 minutes ago because I think that it's important just to realize that the fundamental issue that we are trying to bring to the forefront here is that irrespective of what the rate is today, we know that the city of Chattanooga has critical needs for resources and for programming and for services that our citizens and our businesses rely on every day. And we know that they cost an amount of money that is going to probably continue to rise, those costs for those services and for those resources. And then we also know just time value of money, that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. And so what the mayor has put forward is what we believe to be a fine-tuned, calibrated approach that effectively splits the difference between a high end of 225, which is what the previous adopted tax rate was, and what we've heard some other council members throw out there around the 169, 168 figure. So let's just talk about what 193 will do. For FY26, the current projected general fund revenue is $345 million. What we're proposing at 193 would move that number from 345 to 390, producing $44 $31.85 million of incremental revenue over and above the enacted amount. So what will we do with that revenue? Well, $31.5 million of it is going to be for operations purposes, primarily around public safety and infrastructure priorities. Obviously, police and fire are our number one goal here. It's the impetus for the whole endeavor. But we're also proposing that we fund some other critical needs that we know that we need as it relates to both public safety and to infrastructure and some other items. Then on the capital side, we would pull $13.35 million to continue to fund similar types of expenses, but that would be categorized as capital expenses. So that would move the new capital budget from, the new capital budget from 191 and change to 204 and change, which is just under a 7% increase if we were to adopt this proposal. And then on the operations side, it would move what is currently a $345 million operating budget. It would increase it by about 9% to 376,746. And then the median impact, the incremental cost that we are asking Chattanoogans to invest is about $34 a month, again, on median average. And then the asterisk here is the 390 figure. In the operations ordinance, it's going to show 390 because we have to first capture all of the revenue before we can transfer the capital portion of it. But then at the end of the day, those two numbers for the respective budgets, capital and operations, would be what they show there. And then, again, on average, $34 a month would be the incremental cost for your average Chattanoogan. And you can see how that breaks out across the respective council districts. And then just a reminder, we want to constantly be thinking about, well, how does this stack up kind of in a broader context? So you zoom out a click and you can look at Knoxville, you can look at Nashville, and then you can basically just run simple division to get to an operating dollar figure per resident whose dollars go to get those services and those resources provided by these respective municipalities. And you can see that even with a rate of 193, we are by no means out in front. You look at Nashville and Knoxville, and one of the things that the mayor says is, directionally, what kind of city do we want to be, and are we appropriately resourced to be that kind of city? And I think that that this figure would move us in the right direction. And then the last slide here, I just want to remind everybody that it isn't just about property taxes. You have to look at the total effective tax burden for citizens. The state of Tennessee in general is third lowest in the country in terms of total tax burdens. Now, this is 2022 figures that we got from the Tax Foundation. But this is a very attractive tax environment for people. That's why we have so many new people coming. People want to be in Chattanooga. People want to be in Tennessee generally. And whether we did 225 or 193 or 167, we are not meaningfully talking about changing our broader status as a very competitive environment and a very desirable environment. So what we're trying to do is find the right balance that allows us to maintain the momentum that we have so that we continue to be an attractive place to work and to live, while also ensuring that we're appropriately resourced for the city. Thank you.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate the presentation and just a brief overview before we start public comment. So just our attorney prepared to read our rules. I do want to highlight a couple of things. I highlighted before and after he reads the rules. Each person will have 2 minutes to speak. This will be limited to 1 hour. And at the end of that hour, we'll see where we are and we can adjust as necessary. So with that, if you plan to speak, please line up at this podium. And if you know anything about me chairing a committee, please line up at the podium, please, if you plan to speak. And then with that, our city attorney, would you please read all the rules?
Yes, ma'am. And the chair of this committee on here can set limitations based upon the council's rules that we have in effect here. The council has adopted those rules back in 2023. And at this point in time, let me tell you a little bit about what to do. Anybody wanting to address the council can be recognized at the microphone up front provided for that purpose. Can't have more than 2 minutes to speak on this issue. Address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority and not on matters which are not under their authority or regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. Don't engage in any vulgar, obscene language while you're up here, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others. Address your comments to the council as a whole and not towards individual council members. And lastly, do not engage in disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting that's prohibited by Tennessee law. And someone commits that offense if a person substantially obstructs or interferes with a meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Having stated those rules, go right ahead, please, ma'am.
Okay, before we get started, I do want to note a couple things. Thank you so much, Phil. Again, it's 2 minutes, right now limit to an hour. And also, please be sure to state your city council district. If you don't know what it is, state your address so that we'll know where, from what district you're speaking from. And if you don't, I will ask you.
And your rules do allow you to extend that time if there is an agreement among the council members as you get to the end of the hour.
Okay, that
Yes, ma'am.
works. Oh, that works. Okay, with that, you go, I mean, I know you, but go right ahead.
I'm Donna McConico with Signal Centers. Our address is 109 North Germantown Road. As a leader in the nonprofit sector, first of all, I want to say thank you. This is a difficult issue for everybody, and I really appreciate your thoughtful consideration about what is best for Chattanooga. As a leader in our nonprofit sector, I see every day how the strength of our community depends on the strength of the city services around us. Public safety, safe roads, affordable housing, and community spaces aren't abstract budget lines. They are the foundation that allows families to thrive and nonprofits to fulfill our missions. And as nonprofits, we know that underinvestment today in those kind of services leads to greater cost and suffering tomorrow. This proposal is not just about taxes. It's about sustaining a quality of life, safety, and opportunity that makes Chattanooga the great community it is. The proposed property tax adjustment represents an investment in our shared future. While no one welcomes higher costs, the measure ensures we can retain police officers and firefighters, maintain critical infrastructure, and provide support for families on the edge of housing insecurity. These priorities directly intersect with the work of nonprofits, which is too often end up bearing the cost when public systems are underfunded or fail. Chattanooga has adopted the One Chattanooga plan, and it's clear that investment in critical infrastructure and funding a safety net of services for those who are struggling provides a way forward for all Chattanoogans. The adjustment is more than about dollars and cents. It's about keeping Chattanooga a safe community where families can thrive. Strong city services give every child and neighbor a chance at a better future. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
I'm from District 3. I just want to read this out. The people of Hamilton County deserve the truth. We aren't getting it. You told citizens property taxes are going down, and that's a lie. The truth is assessments doubled and assessments and tax bills double. No amount of slick wording or lower rates changes that. It's not leadership, it's manipulation. If you had been transparent from the start and told people, yes, there will be a tax increase, we could have had an honest debate about how much. But doubling taxes, it's not fair. Now, let me be clear. I support and respect our police officers and firefighters. I have many of them that are my friends. But this is a Trojan horse. You're using them as cover to push through a massive tax grab that benefits city leadership. And here's the problem. The police department already raised salaries before this hike. They've advertised it themselves, $60,000 starting pay, a take-home and other benefits with only a high school diploma required, and far too often an aggressive attitude towards the very citizens that they're supposed to protect. That's more than what many hardworking college graduates in this county earn starting out. So don't tell me this increase is for first responders. That's just another excuse. Meanwhile, families are being crushed, including mine. Everything is unaffordable. If property taxes double, landlords will also raise rent, and renters will suffer as well. It already takes two incomes just to cover housing, with one person's entire monthly income often going straight towards rent or a mortgage. And if you have kids, it's worse. I personally pay over $3,000 a month just for daycare for my 3-year-old and 10-month-old so my wife and I can both work. Families are already desperate, and you want to make it worse. That's why I'm demanding a full independent audit of city and county spending. Show us where every dollar is going before you take one more cent from us.
Right, thank you so much, sir. And could you state your name, please?
Daniel Bradley.
All right, thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Bita Bagoyavaji, and I live at 1816 South Holly Street. I'm a student at UTC, and I currently serve as a student body president for the 25-26 school year. I'm not only a student of the university, but I'm also a resident of the Highland Park community. Thank you to the council for allowing me to speak today. As a student, we see firsthand how investments, or lack of them, shape our daily lives and our futures. Community centers, libraries, parks, and safe streets are not just services, they are the foundations that allow young people to learn, grow, and stay in Chattanooga after graduation. When our city invests in housing, job training, and crime prevention, it creates pathways for students and young professionals to build stable, thriving lives here. That's why I strongly support Mayor Kelly's A Place Where Students and Families Alike Can Feel Safe, Connected, and Supported. Cutting this budget would only weaken essential services and also send a message to students and young people that Chattanooga is unwilling to invest in its future. We deserve a Chattanooga that invests in us, not one that undermines opportunities with short-sighted cuts. The 1.93 plan is a responsible compromise, lowering the tax rate while keeping Chattanooga resilient, competitive, and welcoming to the next generation of leaders who want to call this city home. Thank you, council.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Council. My name is Leanne Wiles. I live at 1309 Woodhill Drive in District 2. I want to thank you all. I've mentioned this to all of you individually, but thank you all for your thoughtful consideration through this process, throughout the entire budget process. I'm a member of the Community Advisory Committee through the Department of Community Development. I'm a board secretary of Head Start, which is under the Department of Early Learning, and I'm president of my neighborhood association, where the Department of Neighborhood Services and staff from other departments consistently show us support. But the reason that I'm so involved and the reason that I'm here today is the dream of One Chattanooga. I graduated from Hickson High School and I moved away for 30 years. When I returned, I felt lucky to live here. And then I read the One Chattanooga plan and I realized that not everyone is lucky to live here. We still have 2 Chattanoogas, and the communities that have long been disadvantaged remain so today. I support the mayor's proposed rate of 1.93, which is a compromise. It's a tax rate cut of over 30 cents. Over the last 4 years, steep inflation has hit every department, while record numbers of new residents are moving in. The city is being asked to do more for more people with much less. In addition to competitive pay for police and fire, we need continued investments in our infrastructure. At its core, the city is a service organization, and citizens will continue to expect those services. And city departments provide essential services, maintain infrastructure, support economic vitality, and sustain our quality of life. Any change is going to be hard, but what matters most to me is who it will hit the hardest. And historically under-resourced communities will feel cuts to services the most. A responsible, sustainable rate of 1.93 would protect taxpayers, protect services, and protect Chattanooga's future. Thank you.
Thank you.
To this distinguished council, with respect being given to our chair, Woman Hill, I am Dr. Ernest Reed, and I serve as the senior pastor of Second Missionary Baptist Church located in District 9. I stand before you today in support of the mayor's compromised budget. I support the compromised budget because we are in a fiscal quagmire of sorts as our needs outweigh our current revenue. When it comes to the management of fiscal affairs, I would give you some unsolicited advice that my father gave me as a young man. That being, you can keep up better than you can catch up. Mm-hmm. The city finds itself in the posture of catching up because the administrators of the purse strings over the years did not keep up. Now the burden falls upon you. I do understand that we are not dealing with infinite dollars, Furthermore, I know that we are dealing with taxpayers. However, raising the salaries of Chattanooga PD and Fire to be competitive within our region is a must. I have lived in 3 different states and 5 different cities due to ministry, and I have never seen policemen and firemen and women have to hustle so hard for their money. Likewise, the additional dollars raised beyond what is needed for police and fire aid other necessities such as community centers, sidewalks, and the paving of streets, which are not luxury items. What kind of city would we be to brag about high-speed internet but lack functional community centers? Or to boast of our aquarium, yet to stumble on the sidewalks on our way to the aquarium? Or to buy a brand-new Volkswagen from one of our largest employers, only to have the front end torn apart because of potholes? Therefore, I ask that you would play and look and understand that it is better to keep up than to catch up. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Harriet Whitaker. I'm a resident of the Great District 8, and I want to say how much I appreciate the work that all of you do for our city. Since my husband and I moved here in 2013, we've been impressed with both the growth and the quality of life we found in Chattanooga. We see that much of the time our elected officials work together to sustain our city as a kind of place where people who were born here choose to stay and others choose to move here because we work together to make the city better for all of us. As a realtor, I know that our reasonable cost of living is a key factor. People see that our tax rate sustains the city's services and resources that benefit every one of us. Unfortunately, the cost of maintaining those services has increased, just like our grocery bills and the cost of virtually every service we pay for. We deserve a Chattanooga that's safe, with good roads and quality services, and representatives with the courage to support a fair and affordable property tax proposal that will ensure that our city is appropriately resourced. There's a strong argument for holding the millage rate where it's been for the last 4 years, but the 1.93 rate is a quality compromise plan that lowers the tax rate while ensuring Chattanooga has the resources it needs to remain a great city. I trust that our elected officials will do the right thing and support the mayor's plan to keep Chattanooga strong and growing. Thank you.
Thank you.
To Chairwoman Hill, to Chairwoman of the committee Dotley, to our council members on the dais, it is a pleasure to be here today. I am William Ladd III, and I'm representing First Baptist Church and First Baptist Cares as president in the Great District 8. I stand today to support the mayor's compromise millage rate proposal from 1.99 to 1.93. In my 16 years as a citizen of Chattanooga, I've seen the city grow, evolve, and face challenges with resilience. And as someone who is deeply invested in this community, I believe our collective voice and active participation are key to shaping a stronger future for all Chattanoogans. In my view, the collective voice and active participation includes allocating resources to growth and the flourishing of all Chattanoogans. The 1.93 millage rate proposal is a positive step in that direction because it represents a commitment to funding the essential services and infrastructure that support our city's long-term well-being. Our police officers and firefighters deserve to be compensated fairly for the critical work that they do to keep our city safe. Affordable housing is a significant challenge facing Chattanooga's working families and seniors. The 1.93 compromise plan will allocate resources to preserve affordable housing for present and future residents. There are those who say taxes are too high during a time when their property values are at historic highs.
I was raised by people who instilled in me, to whom much is given, much is required. Meaning when we are fortunate enough to see our property values rise and our personal wealth grow, we have a shared responsibility to invest in the community that made that growth possible. Thank you for your time, and let's work together, continue making Chattanooga a city that works for everyone.
Sorry. Good afternoon, y'all. My name is Jeremiah Chambers. I'm a resident of the Great District 8 as well, but I'm also a junior at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Council members, I come to speak to you today in support of our mayor's plan. This plan is greater than politics. It's greater than policy. It's greater than creed, race, and color. But I want to talk to you also about the spirit of collaboration. As a born and raised Chattanoogan, I was taught with the values that of working together, of building bridges, and sitting across the table from someone who you disagree with, only to find out that you have more in common than you do in disagreement with them. Because at the end of the day, we discover that our city represents the spirit of commonality, the spirit of making things work, and the spirit of a truly strong city. Yet in a world of division that often dominates the largest scenes in front of us, we've chosen not collaboration at any total. We've chosen to tear down ourselves right in front of us. I'm here in support of our mayor's budget because this budget does more than just balance numbers. It invests in people. It invests in equity. And it invests in the future of Chattanooga that I want to live in. This budget ensures that the most disadvantaged communities are no longer left behind, that raises for our salaries that our first responders are upheld to, the men and women who protect our city every single day. It strengthens our Family Justice Center, providing them with essential support and staff that they need to support needy families. And it provides crucial support for our city officers that are struggling with battling inflation that they have been struggling with for years upon end. These are not just mere investments for only one neighborhood or one district. These are for every neighborhood, every community, every district in our great city. Every council member should encourage with the spirit of collaboration and working together and making sure that we can pass a tax rate that is probable and that is reasonable for all citizens. I'd like to remind you that cities like Nashville, Knoxville, and even just up the road from us, Red Bank, have done the similar things like this and have taken less time and represented their communities well. Thank you.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Emily O'Donnell, and I work in District 7. I'm here to ask for your support of Mayor Kelly's 1.93 proposed amendment. As an attorney for Legal Aid of East Tennessee and the Eviction Prevention Initiative, I know that families in our community are struggling to keep up with the rising cost of everything, and I understand your desire to reduce costs and taxes. However, the mayor's proposed budget amendment is a thoughtful and wise investment in our city's future, not just a series of expenditures. Investments in infrastructure, services, and public safety ensure high rates of return. An independent cost-benefit analysis of the Eviction Prevention Initiative estimated conservatively that every $1 of public money invested in the program yields $4.84 in return in public dollars. Eviction doesn't just burden the families that lose their homes, it burdens our hospitals, our schools, and our mental health resources. People who have been evicted earn less and pay less in taxes. The children who have been evicted have reduced educational outcomes and earn less over their careers. Eviction Prevention Initiative attorneys expect to represent over 500 families in the next year that will not only help those families, but will yield over $2.4 million back to the city taxpayers. This estimate does not include the additional rental assistance money in the proposed amendment, which would help landlords, tenants, and taxpayers exponentially. Thank you for your commitment to investing in our future.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Stewart, and I'm the president of SEIU Local 205. Our address is 3922 Volunteer Drive. I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of Chattanooga City employees, and we ask that you support and fully fund the mayor's proposed budget. This budget includes our proposal to increase the pay for those employees who are subject to being placed on call. This affects everyone from electricians to truck drivers, maintenance workers, fire and police, just to name a few. Being on call means you give up your normal freedoms of movement. You have to stay home and/or near a phone in case you're called on to respond. When the recent flood event in Chattanooga, in many cases, the men and women who were working on these issues were not only those on regular shifts, but those who were on call. They made sure that they were available, they responded, and they did their jobs. Employees who are on call provide a critical service to the citizens of Chattanooga and deserve to be fairly compensated for that. The current on-call pay of $10 per day has not changed in 10 years. I think we can agree that these employees' time is worth more today than it was 10 years ago. There's been a lot of talk amongst the city council about what is critical in this budget. The time that the men and women give up to be ready and to respond to emergencies is critical to them and their families. The calls for service from citizens of Chattanooga are critical to the safety and security of all who live here. And the services that the employees of Chattanooga provide after hours are absolutely critical. We ask that you support the mayor's proposed budget and fully fund this improvement to on-call and callback pay so that the hardworking men and women of the city of Chattanooga can feel their time is appreciated and rightly compensated. Thank you.
My name is Michael Whitfield. I live in District 4. I'm also president of my homeowners association, and I'm commenting on two things here. Of course, the taxes is proposed here for an increase for police and firemen. I agree, they do need to be paid all the city can afford. But I'm going to suggest something. I don't know if you have, but this is my suggestion on this, and that's what I'm going to comment on. Instead of across the board raises structure, salaries should be based on, I feel, I don't know if you've considered this, on duties, performance as for private business does. My career for 40-something years was a department manager, and it was based on performance. And in private business, it's salary monthly and annually too. And the city tax, if city tax increases approved by taxes increase, my city taxes will go up 32%. I'm fixed income. And from like 401k, you know, that's fixed income, and I have annuities I draw in retirement. But the Social Security, the maximum it ever goes up is maybe 2%. And this would be a hard blow to me. One of the reasons my wife is in a memory care facility, and that's a large chunk of money that I've been paying now for about a little over 7 months. And of course, there's no Medicare through Blue Cross as I have. None of that's paid by that. That's strictly mine that I have to pay. And of course, the tax increase would be a large blow. I do qualify now for, of course, a tax freeze under the city. That was just increased. But my question is going to be, and somebody can answer this later, why can't my tax freeze be based on what I paid for taxes in 2024?
All right, Mr. Whitfield.
And who decides that, whether it's 2024 or now, is that a decision made by council or is it made by state?
Mr. Whitfield, your 2 minutes are, we want to make sure we have room for everybody.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Is my time up?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hi, my name is William Lloyd, and I'm a resident of District 4. This is the cover of the city's annual outside financial audit. The most recently published audit as of the fiscal year end June 30, 2024, shows that the general fund has purely discretionary funds in it of $152.9 million. Now, we hear a lot about inflation and it's ravaged the city, but during periods of inflation, the city has allowed this general fund pot to build to almost $153 million. Rhetorically, how has this government allowed that much of a war chest to accrue when the needs for public service and our public servants are so obvious and have been known for years? That kind of accrued war chest would indicate that taxpayers may have been overtaxed. And so the question comes in, if this is approved, are we going to continue to see this general fund discretionary amount increase and not be used? What I would ask as a taxpayer is for transparency. Tell the taxpayers, why do we have this much money and why are we not using it for the needs that are very obvious and are sitting in this room? To have our police chief and fire chief and our public servants have to come essentially begging for a raise is just not, it's not proper. And so in addition to transparency, I would ask on behalf of all taxpayers, use the money you already have in your treasury before you look at increasing taxes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Blake Wright, and I'm running Ron Elliott's district, District 11. And first off, I'd just like to say, I do not know why so many cops and police are here. Y'all gonna get paid, okay? Both the plans. So like, obviously, they're gonna get their money. But the question is, how are we gonna pay for it? And so far that I'm aware of, there's Henderson's, that's 1.69. And there's the mayor's, that's 1.93. Now, everyone in the year of our Lord 2025 knows we're hurting, like working class people are hurting. We don't have affordable housing. And I just feel that from my understanding, Henderson, the plan that you have created, Ron Elliott did not like it because it has blanket cuts, right? So I'm asking for you and for Jenny Hill to work together with Ron to look at the line item cuts he's already pulled out, because District 9 trust, I was thinking of my county district earlier, District 9 trust Ron Elliott to look at what is being spent now and look at it responsibly as someone who's from District 9 who's going to be hit hard by these cuts, as a working class individual who does not yet own his own home and should be able to buy one in his own district. And as someone who is a Black man in a majority Black working class district, I think his input could be very valuable to that. And so if there are cuts that equal 1.69, like the number y'all have agreed on, I feel like that would be a worthy proposal that pays these people what they deserve to get paid, while also protecting the working class in Chattanooga. And so I'm just here to ask for that. And I tried to call y'all beforehand and I wasn't able to reach you, but I left voicemails. So work it out with yourselves. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Joe Degatano. I live in District 2 on Westwood Avenue. I'm here to ask two things. I'm here to ask that y'all take care of the fire and police, give them the raise, but I'm also asking you to be careful with everybody's money. The fire and police also pay property taxes, so we don't want to give them with one hand and take with the other. Everybody in this city is going to feel a large property tax increase. And I say large because we hear a lot about the raises to the fire and police, and they deserve it, 100%. Give them more if you'd like. But as I saw those figures up there, my quick calculations showed about 47% of the mayor's proposed additional revenue was for fire and police. That was raises, I think, a truck or two, and maybe something about take-home cars. I'm not sure, it was up there briefly. But if that's only 47% of the total the mayor wants, then I think there is room for compromise between where council members Henderson and Davis and Hill have proposed the 1.69 rate. I would just ask you all to come together and roll up your sleeves and do a little bit more hard work, because we can take care of the fire and police. We can also take care not to jack up prices on everything in this city when inflation's already out of control. And when I say jack up prices, the landlords are going to pass this tax increase on to the tenants. They are. The commercial tenants, many, if not all of them, already have triple net leases, which means they pay the property taxes. So what does that mean? Well, they're going to have a higher bill that they have to pay, and they're going to increase the prices on everything that they sell. So prices are going to go up. We can have services, we can have the best fire and police available, and we can treat them well, but we can also come to a compromise that doesn't just add another $34 to everybody's bill. That's not nothing for a family that's coming in on fumes every month. Just keep that in mind. $34, what's that? Perhaps that rents the student's band instrument for the month, and now it's gone. Thank you very much.
Good evening, council members and everyone in the room. Good to see y'all this evening. My name is Sharonda Brown. I'm the founder of Sister RN and Friends, creator of Hooked on Healing 423. Why am I here today? Because our company targeted the inner city community, 37406, 37410, Avondale, East Chattanooga, in those areas, so that we could make a difference. We know that crime is high in those areas, and we know that that community is underserved and under-resourced. What we did was took our kids out of the city and took them to the river, to the lake. And what we called it was Hooked on Healing 423. The children of Chattanooga, Tennessee, our inner city kids went viral, right, for healing. They went viral for teaching people how to meditate. They went viral for teaching people how to fish. They went viral for canoeing. They went viral for journaling, right? These things are the things that I want to come today to say thank you to the city of Chattanooga. Thank you to Dr. Marahaj at the Office of Community Health for supporting our initiatives. These kids are asking every day for additional help, mental health therapy. Do you know how hard that is to get these kids, these inner city kids, not to rap? They rapped. We did all of that. We did all of those things that fit into our culture. But the bigger piece here, guys, is our city and our kids need healing. My name is Sharonda. I'm with Sister RN and Friends Incorporated. I'm looking for partnerships and continuation. I'm also looking to partner with more cops, because we did have cops. We had nurses. I am a registered nurse by background, graduated from University of Tennessee. I also went to Brainerd High School, want to plug my high school. And I just like to thank you guys and want to see that partnership. Please give these people a raise. They definitely need it. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sharonda. Thank you. And also, thank you so much, Sharonda. I appreciate it. I too went to Brainerd.
Vivian Hershey. I live in District 1.
Thank you.
I'm going to speak for some of the seniors, and a senior to me is over 80, not 65. And I just fail to understand how our real estate jumped so much, really, since COVID. And I know it affects everybody, because everybody lives somewhere. Your rent's gone up, housing has gone up, and all of a sudden I'm in an expensive home that I never even moved into at that rate. So 25% increase on taxes for me is a lot. We were self-employed, have very small Social Security coming in. It's very limited income. I live off of savings that we've accumulated. It's hard for me on a 25% increase on a price of home that I can't believe I live in. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm so sorry, ma'am.
Ma'am?
Ma'am, excuse me. What? I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Vivian. Vivian, okay, because I know I talked to you in the hallway.
What district?
1.
One, okay.
Thank you.
Hi. Good afternoon, council members. My name is Catalina Kay. I am a mother, a fire wife, and a Chattanoogan. I'm here to give you insight into my husband's schedule and the danger it poses on the city's safety. While I'm at home putting out little fires, on the other side of town, my husband's running into literal fires, lifting the fallen elderly, and handling every other emergency in every one of the neighborhoods that you represent. After his 24-hour shift, he comes home and he heads out to mow lawns. Once he's finished with that, he comes back to take a nap if our toddler allows him to. Then he's off to work his night job. On average, he works 109 hours a week. The exhaustion from that schedule is not just unhealthy, it's dangerous. Public safety is compromised when firefighters are forced to work multiple jobs on top of their department shifts. Along with stretched schedules, staffing poses a threat to community safety. It's crucial for Fire Station 21 to be a double company station. In 1976, when Station 21 opened, the East Brainerd area's population was an estimated 24,000. The current population is 52,000. That's a 96% increase, and it's only continuing to grow with all the new development. This doesn't include unincorporated East Brainerd, where Station 21 provides mutual aid to both TRICOM as well as Catoosa County. East Brainerd is too populated to only have a one-company station. We need staffing. We need more staffing, or the amount of calls is going to burn out our firefighters. Chattanooga Fire Department proves their dedication to the city every single day, not only in emergencies, but also at community events like Touch a Truck, fundraisers, and school safety demonstrations. Our firefighters do so much more for the community than most people ever see. So the question isn't what can our firefighters do for our community, but rather what can our community do for our firefighters to ensure that safety remains a top priority. We're not asking to get rich from serving our neighbors. They're asking for more time with their families. They're asking not to choose between paying a bill and putting a balanced meal on the table. So I ask that you please back Mayor Kelly's proposal, because our firefighters are people too. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, council. My name is Kelvin Scott. I'm from District 8. And as we've heard so much great information and opinions and people's stance on where they're at, I'm standing here not telling you which budget to take or which position to take. What I am asking is, as you're considering which route you're going, that you come up with something that's a long-term permanent plan. A lot of times we fix things for right now, but 4 or 5 years from now, we'll be right back in here on the same issues, battling the same thing. So I asked you all, as you all know your district, you know your constituents, and many of you have studied these budgets, that you look at something that's going to be sustainable and not something that fixes right now, but something that's going to be continuous long after, you know, if you're still here or you don't be here or whatever, that is still moving forward, and that we're not coming here saying, well, the last person didn't do this and do that. So I ask all of you, as you look at this, is whatever you're going to choose, is it going to be sustainable for the future, not just for 2025, but 2026, 27, on down the road? I think that is a part of being responsible too, that it's sustainable and not just a quick fix for right now. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Edward Hewitt, I also live in Ron's district. Keep it short and sweet. I really don't understand why we're worried about the police and firefighters. We have established we are going to fund you guys. You're getting your money. So let's focus on the rest of the city, please, because that's what we're here to talk about. How are we funding everything else? Thanks. Have a good night.
My name is Sabrina Daniel. My address is 4410 Maryland Drive. Not sure about which district. I've spoken to y'all before, but I just want to bring out a couple of things that I learned in the ADCOT committee meeting. And one is that we have a lot of positions that are not filled, and they've not been interviewed for. We're not involving anybody else's life here. And so before we raise taxes, we need to look at those positions and decide, at least for the year, should we not just freeze them so we can't, again, raise taxes on taxpayers. The other thing is the discretionary fund. I just learned a little bit about that today. You know, if we have a huge discretionary fund, it seems to me like we should go into at least part of that before, again, we raise taxes. Some folks are really concerned about their specific district. The problem is that even if we've committed, someone is committed to services, there are some people in your district who've lived in their homes for generations, generations, generations. A home is more than brick and mortar, and some of them will be run out of their homes. So I just pray that you consider both of those things before, that we work compromise, that everybody gives just a little bit so that nobody has to suffer a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council. Jeff Miller, and I serve all of our citizens in every district. I've had the opportunity to work directly with most of you on a range of public safety projects. I've talked through security measures for city council meetings with you and helped address other safety concerns to protect each of you and the public during these meetings. I've had conversations with you during campaign season about how hard it is to recruit and retain officers when our pay isn't competitive. I've worked with you to implement drone technology to reduce loud, disruptive vehicle traffic in neighborhoods. I've shared how our drone first responder program can help combat violent crime in neighborhoods that need the most support. I've partnered with you to support your special events, protecting the public and minimizing risk to the community so that they can participate without fear. I have served with you on committees, and together we selected a highly effective chief of police to lead this department and keep our community safe. I've even sat with you all during these exact meetings to ensure the meetings in this room are safe and orderly, and I put myself in a position to immediately respond. If we stay the lowest paid, we will stay the least staffed. Officers are taking on more responsibility, longer hours, and getting less compensation in return. And if we only match surrounding agencies, we'll still lose officers because the workload here is much heavier. We don't just need to catch up, we need to lead. More now than ever since the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office released a starting salary of $62,000 a year for officers. The Chattanooga Police Department has always been held to a higher standard, and rightfully so. But if we expect CPD to lead through innovation, through specialized training, and through the work we've all done together to keep this city safe, our compensation must lead too. The expectations are already there. We're just asking for the investment to match. I'm proud to be an officer of the Chattanooga Police Department. I want to keep doing this work for our community and for you all, but we need your support.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to all. I'm Sergeant Ernest Cross, the Chattanooga Police Department Special Operations Support Bureau, Community Outreach. As a 28-year veteran of the Chattanooga Police Department, I've been privileged to watch the growth of this city. From Ross's Landing growth from a local landmark to a nationally known tourist site along the Tennessee River. You know what I haven't seen grow? The number of Chattanooga police officers serving this city. To help ensure the safety and the growing community, the people that visit this city, we need to not only recruit, but also retain good police officers. No police officer that puts their life on the line every day should have to work 3 or 4 extra jobs just to take care of their families. Think about that, and we still have to go to work. As a lifelong resident of this great city, I strongly urge you to help maintain the safety of our city. To hear, thank you for your service is very kind, and we thank you. Now's the time to act upon that statement. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Sydney Cassavant. I've been a patrol officer with the city for over 6 years now. And since 2020, I've been a member of our peer support team along with other officers. As a peer support team member, I take on the responsibility, as well as other officers take on the responsibility, of checking in on the mental health of our officers on a day-to-day basis. Every day, I watch our guys witness and carry some of the most unimaginable horrors the city has to offer. I see them needing breaks and time off. I talk to them about taking time away from work, time to heal and release pieces of the trauma they've been carrying, knowing good and well these men will not. Too many times I've heard, "I can't afford it." I've seen officers get bruised and banged up on calls for service, but they brush it off and come to work hurting because they know that taking leave from work means taking money from their families. The money from our salary is alone not enough, so officers are forced to work overtime or find extra employment elsewhere. The stress officers deal with throughout their careers is devastating enough without adding the financial burden that comes with working for the city of Chattanooga. We have some of the most outstanding, courageous, brave, heroic officers, men and women in this room, in this department. Men and women who are passionate about their jobs. Men and women who find joy and purpose in serving their community. However, when those men and women have to find a balance between salaries and purpose, those people have no choice but to choose their family's health and well-being and leave for higher compensation. When I began my career, I signed up for a job that paid $36,000 a year, working long hours, expecting little to no gratitude with the probability of injury or death. I've never believed that careers with power should include high sums of money. However, I do not believe that what we've been asking for regarding this raise constitutes a high sum. I believe what we've been asking for is fair and reasonable. I fear that if there are no significant changes, if there's only the bare minimum change, the Chattanooga Police Department will see a mass exodus, leaving the city to save itself.
Okay.
This raise is so much more than higher paychecks. This raise is an investment in the future of our city.
I hate to do it to you.
No, that's it.
No, I love you, but
Thank you.
your 2 minutes out.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Benjamin Piazza. I'm a sergeant with the Chattanooga Police Department. I currently work in the Intelligence Division as a supervisor for the Real-Time Intelligence Center. Council members, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I've been a police officer since 2008, the same year I became a husband, and 2 years before I became a father. In 2012, my wife and I fell in love again, this time with Chattanooga, and we moved here to raise our family and make an impact. I joined the Chattanooga Police Department in 2013, and I've never looked back. Through CPD, I've built strong connections with the Tennessee Department of Child Services and local foster and adoptive networks. In 2020, despite COVID, we opened our home as a foster family. By 2023, our family of 5 grew to 8 through adoption. Today, I'm the proud father of 6 incredible children, grateful for every day for this job bringing them into our lives. I've also learned that this job carries a heavy weight. The stress and trauma from critical incidents and the vicarious trauma I brought home are very real. My family has felt them too. But in those challenges, my wife and I found purpose. We've been able to support other first responders and their families facing the same struggles, turning our trials into a way to help others serve the community even better. One stress I hear most from these officers is financial strain. Combined with the daily pressures of the job, it can be overwhelming. I work alongside incredible officers with servants' hearts, and I don't want to see them leaving CPD simply because another agency offers higher pay. The people of Chattanooga deserve the very best officers, and those officers deserve the best we can do to keep them here, serving from a place of strength, compassion, and integrity. We can't afford to wait until we lose them to realize their worth, our worth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Fogg. At the end of my second year as a police officer, I had attended a training for critical stress debriefing with several other CPD officers. The training included departments from across the state, including Memphis, Nashville, and other large departments. During the training, they showed us a list of the 25 most traumatic experiences a police officer can experience. As a 2-year officer, I had already experienced 21 of them, and some multiple times. The CPD officers I was with all had similar numbers, with one having experienced 25 of the 25 at his time at CPD. The next highest after us was in the teens. CPD officers do the most work and experience the most amount of traumatic calls with the least pay in our region. In my time in this department, I have watched us lose many highly qualified officers to other departments due solely to pay and officers needing to support their families. We ask you to pass the budget amendment proposed by Mayor Tim Kelly to fairly compensate Chattanooga's first responders. Thank you.
All right, give me just a second. So I do want to note that we are right at the 1 hour mark. And we do want to continue to hear your public comments. Could I just have a quick show of hands of who all still intends to speak so we engage our time? Okay. Well, not you, Steve. Well, okay, let's see who else. Everybody, I see the line. Who's not in line? I'm so sorry. Okay. Anybody else that plans to speak? You already spoke. Yeah. You gotta wait till next week now. But we'll be here next week doing the same thing. So, is this everybody in line? That's who's speaking. Is anybody else planning to speak? All right. Yeah, you can, Steve. We love you. You can. I wasn't gonna hold you back. You know I'm not gonna hold you back. He's gonna be the caboose. So this man right here with this purple shirt, wave hand, Steve, let the people see you. Yeah. So he's the caboose. So if you plan to speak, just get in front of him. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So with that, go right here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Peaker. I'm the Director of Training for the Chattanooga Police Department. I was going to start with a please, but I actually want to start with a thank you to everybody in this room, to council. We know we are supported, and we appreciate that. And you have all made this not a thankless job, and we appreciate that. As part of my role as a training director, I talk to all of the officers that leave, whether they're retired or resigning. They turn in all their gear, we have a conversation, and many times now, I see tears welling up in their eyes. They don't want to go. They don't want to leave. CPD is a family. They want to be here. They know that this city supports them, and they chose to be here. And it hurts them to have to make the decision to leave. These officers have to explain to their families why they want to work for CPD when the same job at departments in any direction are going to pay them far more money. I can't tell them how to explain that to their families. I myself work 3 jobs. I work in a movie theater, I work at Erlanger Hospital, and I'm a police officer. I'm tenured, I'm not going anywhere, but I can tell you that it hurts to know that if I worked anywhere else, I'd probably only work 1 job, and that is priceless to my wife and my 3 kids. CPD officers, as was just stated, we're exposed to a lot more calls, more death, more trauma than any other agency around here. We're busier, that's okay, we get that, but we do it for a lot less money. We want to be here, we want to serve. Now my pleas. Please fix this problem with our pay and maintain it. I respect that this is difficult for the taxpayers, I am one, but I also know we are appreciated, and I appreciate your attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Sergeant Brown, but I'm also Officer Brown on the other side. I've been with the department for 2.5 years now. I've also been with the department for my whole life. My father served 30 years with the department. He dedicated his whole life to it and never looked back. However, as a child, I had to observe him work 6 extra jobs just so he could support 2 children. You know what it's like to where you can't even see your own father every night because he has to go? There's many days, weeks, I wouldn't even be able to see him more than 5-10 minutes when he picks me up, drops me off to school because he had to work 6 extra jobs. That's hard on somebody. That's hard on the family. I don't blame him. I know he had to do what he had to do. I know it probably led to why he had to have a divorce and split up the family. That happens because you're overstressed and you're overworked and you're underpaid. 6 extra jobs is not what we should be working. We should only have to work 1 job. And I'll go ahead and put it in perspective. I've been with the department for 2.5 years, like I said. I already have to work multiple extra jobs myself just to be able to afford. We start out at 44 for the academy, go up to 48. Those numbers are not very good. Rent alone is about $1,200, $1,300 just to live, when it was the 25-mile radius within the city limits. We can't afford to do that. And I hope to put in perspective to help with everybody else, because I hate seeing people come into work, be upset, not be able to do anything, and then us get blamed for not having proactive stuff. We're tired. We can't be proactive if we're tired and we're overworked and underpaid. And I would like to retire from this as soon as possible. I'm tired of being, I'd like just my one job, because I love the city of Chattanooga. However, when other agencies such as counties, 62,000, it's hard to pass up on that opportunity. And I know so many of my teammates are the same way. So thank you. Y'all, good evening.
Good evening, council members and sir. Thank you for the opportunity to speak before you today. My name is Officer Curtis Bacha. I've been with this department for almost 7 years, and in those 7 years, I've served along some very brave and heroic men and women, and I've enjoyed most of it. This job has been one of the most exciting experiences of my life, and I'm honored and grateful to bear this badge. On June 24th of this year, I became a father. Before that day, I don't think I cared one singular ounce about my pension plan or my salary. All I knew is that I had one of the best jobs a man could ask for, and at times I could not believe that I was paid to do it. However, when I saw the face of my baby girl, my priorities changed. My career, which had been until that moment entirely me-focused, became redirected. My chief aim became the sustainment of my family. After all, what good is the impact I have on my city if I cannot provide for my wife and daughter? While this job is more than enough to keep me busy, it is not the only one I have. In addition to patrol duties, I work extra jobs providing security for my church, community events, and occasionally terribly inconvenient road closures. As I said before, I love my job, but its salary has not been enough to live off of. This reality is driving me to make hard choices to support my family, chief among them, whether to stay at the agency I love or pursue other opportunities. I have a bachelor's degree, I'm a registered paramedic, yo hablo un poquito español, and as a member of the military special operations community, I've been trained to the highest standards of tactics and of medicine. With my background, I have constant opportunities to utilize my training status and certifications elsewhere, doing jobs that make me enough money to support my family. Yet I stay because I love my job. I care about this department, and I see the potential here for excellence. This raise that our administration and unions are fighting for is not abstract. With it, we have the opportunity to recruit and retain talented police officers who hold the line and maintain the highest standards of professionalism and excellence. I love this badge, and I have high expectations for the people who wear it. Do not make us scrape the bottom of the barrels for other agencies' leftovers. There is too much stake in this line of work. I myself am hopeful for the possibility of a competitive salary because I don't want to leave this department. Give me what we need to support our families, and we'll gladly stay.
And thank you, Councilman Clark, for joining us today. Yes.
Good evening, council. My name is Chris Mullenix, and I've been the FOP president for the past 4 years. Those of you who were on the council in 2021 may remember when I came before you and explained how our low pay at that time was hurting the men and women of the Chattanooga Police Department and the city. I can, with complete confidence, tell you that we are in worse shape in 2025 than we were in 2021. Our numbers have continued to decline, our services continue to be impacted, and we are severely deteriorating both in staff and in morale. This is extremely disheartening. We now have a command staff that is trusted by the men and women doing the work. We have a mayor who prioritizes public safety and fair compensation for first responders. What we do not have is competitive pay. We have 71 operational vacancies. Those vacancies equate to empty districts, slower response times, and a more dangerous city. I was talking to one of our task force officers the other day. He told me that in the last few months, he has been a part of seizing 30 kilos of meth and 8 kilos of fentanyl. He looked at me and said, imagine what we could do if we were able to fill the other 4 positions. The residents of Chattanooga deserve to have police officers who are highly qualified, highly motivated, and highly trained. We are not attracting enough of these individuals because we are the lowest paid comparable agency in the Southeast. Just last week, we saw the heroics of our CPD officers saving lives during the once-in-a-generational flood. You've all seen the body camera footage, and you know that these officers made pennies on the dollars and had to replace hundreds of dollars of their own equipment. No one signs up to do this job to get rich financially. We sign up to this job because we believe in helping our community. We need additional funding for cost of living adjustments, more training, and equipment like vehicles. We are asking that you, the council, be brave. Make the hard decisions, be leaders, explain to your constituents why this is such an important issue, and pass the plan Mayor Kelly has proposed today. A plan that will send the message to your officers that you care, that you see them, and you appreciate the valuable services that they provide.
Hi, I'm Stephen Russell. I'm a citizen of District 3, and I'm a city employee, proud to work in the wastewater department. And I'm also a member of SEIU Local 205. My president eloquently spoke earlier, so I won't try to top her, but I just want to remind folks that we do support our men and women in uniform, but also because they support us. And what I mean by that is they've said we need raises, and they do need raises, as well as the rest of the city, but they want to make sure that the budget does not cause folks to lose their job, and we were smart enough to do that, and I'm very confident we can do that. Also, as far as the on-call pay, I wanted to kind of give people some perspective. The current rate for the last 10 years or so is $10 an hour, or $10 a day, and 2 hours of callback pay. Is $10 a day worth it to people to miss their kids' baseball game on the weekend, or miss a family reunion or something like it? It doesn't make sense. We can't keep funding it that way, because we're not going to be able to keep people to do those emergency calls. You know, when the folks in the police, you know, we call them for fighting crime. We call the firefighters for fires. And folks in wastewater, when the biosolids hit the fan, you call us. So, you know, we need to keep that funded. In the last few seconds, I also want to stand in solidarity again with our members of the UAW and ask the city council, please support them in any way possible. And I'm asking my city council member as well for that. And with that, see y'all later.
Thank you.
Hey, John, District 9. City Council, you know who I am. Everyone else, I'm a frequent flyer here. And I'm not here to sow discord or to stoke a binary. I do want to start off by saying that I used to be a volunteer firefighter, a nationally registered EMT basic. I have to say that last part because the paramedics would call me out on it if I just said I was an EMT by itself. I've seen the work first responders do, and I know that no matter what we pay them, it could never be enough, and that it was something that I did for as long as I could, and I didn't continue doing it because of the pay. At the time, it was $13 an hour. And I do also want to say this, to make sure that we're clear on things. From my understanding, both budgets that are proposed today and next week fully fund the firefighters, and police officers, save Station 21 being built. So there is some room for creativity in having both of these things funded, and possibly discretionary funds helping with the fire department. So I would like to know if that is a viable option, if that's something that could be looked at. The second thing is, if they're both being funded, then what is the difference? And can we make the conversation about that? Can we make the conversation about what are we standing to lose by not accepting today's budget versus next week's? So as you can see, I haven't chosen a side. I want a discussion on what do we stand to lose? Because I know, and I don't think it was talked about here, we stand to lose one fire station being built, Station 21. But besides that, police and fire are fully funded. The last thing I want to say is in regards to systems. This is something we will continue to visit unless we build a city that can sustain itself, its infrastructure, its police officers, and a lot of that is going to come down to our zoning and our development and our building patterns. And now you're saying, that's the John I knew to come up here, the one harping on that. We need to develop responsibly, and we need to build more, especially in our urban core in Enfield. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
My name is Frank Collins. I'm out of District 1. I believe the police department's going to get their funding under this, either budget you take. I think that you guys should be able to look at your waste of a lot of your money. I see Public Works sometimes setting up the street from my home, sitting 4 or 5 trucks sitting all day long. You know, somebody needs to monitor some of the money that's spent, maybe, and look at where we've got a lot of waste in different places. I just know I had a ditch put in, took 3 years for them to come out and do a job. You send 6 men to do a job that should have took 2 with the $500,000 worth of equipment. And the policemen are talking about how many jobs they take. Most people out here working have 2 to 3 jobs that they're working also to make ends meet. And I appreciate their services, but the other taxpayers that are out here that's not represented today, they do 2 to 3 jobs too to make ends meet. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, before you start, is there anybody else that's going to speak? Steve is the caboose. All right, don't you wave nobody. Go ahead.
I want to keep you here all night.
No, go ahead.
My name is Stephen West. I live in my councilman's District 5. Thing I want to say is, policemen, firemen, they deserve their raise. Everybody else in the city deserves their raise as well. The thing about it is, you know, they risk their lives. Everybody risks their lives that work for this city in one way or another. I work for the Public Works Department. And as that guy just said, you know, and I'm not going to tic-tac with him about that. If he knows what we go through, he wouldn't be saying that, because you got to make sure the water flows the right way, first of all. Now, back to the fire and police. They deserve their raise. They risk their lives every day, because if it wasn't for a fireman, and Mr. Clark knows about it, my mom wouldn't have been here as long as she had if it wasn't for a fireman. And I appreciate that. And the thing about it is, the policeman, I work on a knuckle boom truck, and that's that arm that reaches over the side and picks up. If they see me out there, they cut them lights on. They stop traffic for me, and I appreciate everything that y'all do for me. And I can only speak for me. I can't speak for the rest of my department. I just know what they do for me. And the thing about it is, give them their raise, because they deserve it, fire and police. I'm on the other side of that, and hopefully next year, they put everybody in this budget. Because everybody in the city is underfunded. And I want to say this, I call this the Millionaires Club over here. I've always said that, and you remember that I could say that, remember, long ago, Chip. It's the Millionaires Club, because they're the one that makes $100,000 a year. And the reason why I say that is because they can make decisions without checking with us, checking with the people who need the help. Because if you want to save money, and I'm going to say it now, cut out this calling system with our departments. Go back around, split the city up to 4 pieces. Thank y'all.
Right, thank you so much. Looks like we got one more. Anybody else? Let's go. All right, go ahead, sir.
My name is Chris Dooley. I live at 729 Sheer Cove Road. I'm in Chip Henderson's district. I'm an old police officer. 1972, I started as a fireman. 1974, I became a police officer and then served for 3 additional police departments. I there went on and became a military officer, so I'm retired now. But I wanted to put in my 2 cents about the tax increase on behalf of the police officers and others. Having done that, I can tell you that they need it. This is something that police officers and firemen need to do, and they need to be taken care of. I am concerned, however, about the additional money that it may be spent, and that the government itself maybe should look at how that money is being spent after you've taken care of the police officers and the firemen and others. We need to have trust in the government and to make sure that everything is in a transparent way, a way that makes sense, and that we can then agree in a compromised way in most cases, so that we can not only put the burden on taxpayers, but we can also put the burden on the government itself. So I'd ask you to support the 9% tax increase for the police and fire, and not to burden taxpayers any more than you need to for things that are just nice to have. And watch out for your senior residents and others that are on a fixed income, because they don't have the money to be able to pay for all this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, with that, I want to thank everyone for coming to this meeting, to this budget public hearing today. Just as a reminder, we will have another public hearing next week for FY26 budget amendment, Councilman Henderson's alternate proposal, read intent to exceed certified tax rate to 169. So that'll be next week, same time at 3:30. And Mr. Attorney, is there anything else before I end this hearing?
No, ma'am. I believe you're good.
All right, thank you so much. With that, thank you all so much. I'm gonna turn it back over to our Madam Chair Hill to continue our business meeting. You are welcome to stay, because why not be engaged? But if you don't, you're welcome to leave. And Madam Chair, is okay, we have about 2 or 3 minutes for those who wanna leave. Okay, well, all right. This ends the public hearing.
Till next week.
Till next week.
All right.
I just turned it down. I don't know why we had.
Somebody standing there, it doesn't block you. That one is exposed the whole time.
Yeah, so
All right, how's it going there, Dennis?
I'm not really a very
Working hard, pretty strong.
Like I said, I was waiting. No, I was looking this way to see the crowd.
Go on.
Sir, what's going on? Thank you.
I wrote down there, no shouting. I'm astounded. Thank you.
Not sure if she knows where she went. Marvin, what was your starting salary when you started? What were you getting paid when you first started? When I was my very first year out of law school, my very first year out of law school, we thought we were rich because we were making $18,000 a year. Yeah, I was not making that. And my very first job as a lawyer, working for a lawyer, while I was in law school, I was getting a whopping $65 a month. It's changed a little bit over the years.
Inflation is a beast.
Yes, inflation and our needs.
Oh, is that what that
Do we have really any understanding of what that resolution for UTC is going to end up at this point?
I thought it's done.
I do not know. We got a form. It's supposed to be a form that is approved by us, but we don't know if it's a form yet.
Well, we're gonna drive on.
Okay, all right. Maybe Kevin can help us.
I said, Kevin, this is time for us. So you're chief of staff, and you gotta decide what to do.
Yeah, let us know.
Never got
We put you a little wiggle room in the caption on there, say the form approved by us.
You picked the ball up, maybe.
Regardless of what it's passed, you should have that thing you did laid out. And I saw those things I want to make sure that even if the lower one happens, Fire Station 21, so here's the thing, it's not about building.
All right, I'm going to call this meeting back to order, please. Council, we are going to be looking at our agenda for today. You'll take a look at today's agenda. We have items on our final reading.
several planning items. My intent is to take those as a package. If you have a problem with that and you need us to pull any items, please hit your light.
Appreciate you.
Okay, moving on to ordinances under first reading. Under wastewater, there is an item A in District 2. I would be amenable as District 2 representative for a motion in favor of this item. We also have a wastewater item in District 8, Madam Vice Chair.
I'm good. Good with that.
Okay, moving into resolutions, we have a council office resolution, economic development, mayor's office, Parks and Outdoors, and Public Works. Please hit your light if you have any questions about any resolutions. Yes, sir, hit your light.
Is your mic on? Because I can't hear you.
Is my mic on? Because they can't hear me.
It is?
Maybe turn your little volume guy up.
Mine is, my volume is up as far as it'll go. But
All right. His
we'll
volume's
just
up as
deal
high
with
as
it.
it'll
We'll
go.
just deal with it.
Okay. Here I was thinking you might say, let's just not do agenda and just go straight to the business meeting. But that's not what he said. Okay. All right, nobody hit their light for resolutions. Let's take a look at purchases, please. Under purchases, we have several items that are one-time capital purchases for Public Works, for equipment, wastewater, we have an item for them for interceptor sewer. All right, seeing no lights. Let's take a look, please, at next week's agenda. On our 2-week agenda, there will be a second public hearing with the intent of hearing the alternate proposal. Under first reading, we will have 2 different budget options on which to vote, as well as a capital budget ordinance. And in the document that Kevin shared in our packet and with the public, that will outline the exact expenses that will be going into that capital budget purchase. Okay, resolutions. Please hit your light, anybody, if you have any questions or concerns about any resolution items. All right, looks like we don't have any questions there. Let's take a look at future considerations, please. We will have some planning items on future considerations related to liquor stores. If you've got questions in your district, those are planned to be on the agenda on September 9th. There is also an early learning item. And eventual plans for department reorganization. Okay, looks like we are set with that. We are going to need a short attorney-client meeting. I think we'll need 15 minutes. And Councilwoman Dotley.
Yes, Madam Chair, you mentioned reorg. It's on the considerations. Will we have a presentation for that? Will there be a presentation from administration about that?
Kevin gives a thumbs up.
Okay.
Yes,
right,
we will have a presentation on that when they get closer.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thumbs up all around. Great.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? No. All right, we will adjourn until 5:30.
Okay.
Or not adjourn, recess until 5:30.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are back in session. Madam Clerk, will you please take the ordinances on final readings, items A through F as a package?
Item A, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located in the 1000 block of Lupton Drive from RN3 residential neighborhood zone to CC commercial corridor zone subject to certain conditions. Item B,
We're taking it as package.
Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone properties located at 1721, 1723, 1725, 1735 Joyner Road from CNT Neighborhood Transition Commercial Zone and RN16 Residential Neighborhood Zone to RN3 Residential Neighborhood Zone subject to certain conditions. Item C, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 7117 Bonnie Oaks Drive from RN16 Residential Neighborhood Zone to CNT Neighborhood Transition Commercial Zone subject to certain conditions. Item D, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to lift condition number 1 from ordinance number 13935, a previous case number 2022-0233 on properties located at 4905 and 4907 Pattontown Road, and to add a new condition. Item E, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 3524 Broad Street from CMU1 Commercial Mixed Use Zone to CR Regional Commercial Zone subject to certain conditions. Item F, an ordinance to approve corrections to the official zoning map as referenced below.
Thank you, council. Second. Thank you. We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Please hit your light if you've got any questions or comments. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Ordinances under first reading, wastewater, item A, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning multiple sanitary sewer easements in the 1500 block of Mercer Street and the 1100 block of Luptonville Crossing, including one, a sewer easement beginning at MH number S118N001, that's northeastwardly 3,770 feet to MH number S118L001. Number 2, a sewer easement beginning at MH number S118E053, then southwest 1,171 feet to MH number S118E306, and number 3, portions of 30-inch force main and 48-inch gravity sewer easements as described in the attached documentation, tax map numbers 118EE006, 118KE004, 007 through 020, 118KE027, 028, and 039 as shown on the attached maps subject to certain conditions.
Actually, 38 instead of 39 in there, the last one, 038.
38, yes.
Council? Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Item B, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning a sanitary sewer and easement in the 400 block of Palmetto Street beginning 20 feet northwest from MH at number S146A019, thence 287 feet to MH number S146A020 for a total of 287 linear feet. Tax map number 146A-F008 as shown on the attached map subject to certain conditions.
Move to approve. Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Please hit your light if you've got any questions or comments. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Council, I neglected, I believe, to get our minutes approved at the top of this agenda, so I'd like to get a motion on the minutes, please. So moved. All right, minutes will stand without objection. Thank you. All right, moving into resolutions. Item A, please.
A resolution confirming the appointment of Veronica Bryan to the City of Chattanooga Sports Authority Board for District 5 for a term beginning on August 20, 2025 and ending on August 19, 2031.
Motion to approve.
Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Do we have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Is Veronica Bryant here today? We thank you very much for your service out there on YouTube. Item B, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Economic Development to enter into an indemnity, hold harmless, and contribution agreement with Due James LLC and substantially the form attached, and to authorize the payment of $269,000 for reimbursement to Due James LLC for the placement of lightweight flowable fill into the city's rights-of-way at Broad and 8th Streets as necessary to maintain the structural integrity of the city's sidewalks and rights-of-way.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second. Do I have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item C.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and his designees to enter into a contract with the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga in a form attached to be approved by the city attorney pursuant to the interlocal agreement referenced in Resolution 32562 for real-time traffic management and other expenses related to the 2023 U.S. Department of Transportation's USDOT Smart Grants Program award with funding through the Smart Grants Program.
Council? Second. Thank you. We have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second. Got any questions or comments, please hit your light. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item D.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for parks and outdoors to apply for and, if awarded, accept a Tennessee Tourism Enhancement Grant for the Coolidge Park Live and Electric Project in the amount of $100,000 with a funding match not to exceed $100,000 from local private foundation support.
Thank you. Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second. Please let me know if you've got any questions or comments. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item E.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 2 with J. Brennan Construction, Inc. of Dalton, Georgia, relative to contract number E23017-201, City Hall Annex improvements for window trim, remediation, rooftop doorway weatherproofing, and ADA bathroom additions for an increase of $128,973.27 with a contingency in the amount of $50,000 for a revised amount not to exceed $2,140,130.75.
Move to approve. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Let's move on to purchases, please.
Okay, I have 6 purchases recommended for approval this evening. The first one is for fleet. It's a one-time purchase of one backhoe loader for use by Public Works in the amount of $133,564.46. This purchase will be utilizing the State of Tennessee contract. The second one is for fleet. It's a one-time purchase of a Go-Fill natural gas portable refueling station to include maintenance, training, and shipping used by fleet in the amount of $112,000. The award will go to Onboard Dynamics as the manufacturer and sole distributor. Number 3 is also for fleet. It's a one-time purchase of 3 2026 International dump trucks for use by Public Works in the amount of $521,523.21. This purchase will be utilizing the Sourcewell contract. Number 4 is for fleet. This is a one-time purchase of one 2025 New Holland tractor and roadside mower for use by Public Works in the amount of $179,000. This purchase will be utilizing the Sourcewell contract. Number 5 is also for fleet. It is for year 4 renewal. CMI Equipment Sales has requested a 4% increase due to the increase in manufacturing of goods. The estimated annual spend will be $170,000. Fleet has approved the increase. Number 6 is for wastewater. This is a one-time purchase of a Zurich plug valves. This sole source award will go to Ecotech as the exclusive authorized distributor in Tennessee in the amount of $66,759.50. I also have one RFP format recommendation. It's for risk management. They're seeking a third-party claims administrator for injury on duty and occupational health programs.
Thank you very much. All right. Second. Great. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. All right, committee reports. Councilman Henderson. Councilman Davis.
No committee report, but there will be a District 3 Town Hall meeting Sunday from 2 to 4 at the Hickson Community Center. And I bet you can guess what we'll be talking about.
Thank you. Councilman Harvey.
No report.
Councilman Clark.
Thank you, Chairwoman Hill. I do have a report for community development. As you know, over the weekend, we.
Get your light.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
We'll get you on mic.
thank you so
There we go.
much. Thank you. Over the weekend, District 5 hosted the flood relief donation drive at Brainerd. In the Brainerd community, and during the flood, one of our rec centers was turned into a shelter. And Tuesday night, I had the pleasure of spending the day up with Cedric and some other people. We were out in the community till about 1 a.m. just assessing the damage. And thank you again. Oh, is it 2 a.m.? Thank you for that correction. And so our community centers were used as a safe haven for families as we rescued them off of the interstate. So thank you to Public Works and the fire department and our police department for doing that level of community development. Then that same weekend, we were able to raise $1,000 in cash on site, and then collected about $20,000 estimated value of supplies from corporate donations from Walmart, Home Depot, and others in communities. So I just want to thank the community for stepping up, and I hope we will continue to step up, even as a council, to help those individuals who may struggle to pay their deductibles and other flood relief they may need. Only 2% of Chattanoogans in Hamilton County have flood insurance. And District 5 all of our districts were impacted, but I think disproportionately, we had some of the, according to the 311 data, we were disproportionately impacted. So anyway, I just want to thank you all for that, and I hope you all continue to show up for each other in those matters of natural disaster. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Elliott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. District 9 had a successful town hall last night. Thank you, Chairwoman Hill, for attending. Chief Chambers, Chief Knowles, Chief Hewitt, and everybody else in attendance. I think Cedric was also there. So thank all city staff that was there to support us. Also, I want to push this out to the public. Once again, we are still collecting assessments for those affected by the floods in hopes of getting some type of relief dollars. I think the mayor's office just released their pathway. You can also continue to send it to our council offices if need be at council-clerk@chattanooga.gov. Please send in your information, and we'll send it off to the county in hopes of getting some type of relief dollars from either TEMA or FEMA or who that may be. I also want to really thank all of our first responders, Public Works, Parks, everybody else for this last week, really coming out and showing up for our community. So I really appreciate you guys for all of that, and that is all, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilwoman Dotley.
Yes, thank you so much. For my committee report, of course, we had our public hearing today for fiscal year 26 mayor's proposal intent to exceed the certified tax rate to 1.93. So I just want to thank everyone for their participation and the civic engagement that came from that and the civility that came from that. I appreciate it so much. Just a reminder, next week we'll have Councilman Henderson's intent proposal for FY26. Intent to exceed the certified tax rate to 1.69. That will also be at 3:30 next week. Also to note, on August 26th, same day, we will vote on both of those next week. So we'll vote on the mayor's as well as on Councilman Henderson's next week. And then whichever one makes it out of the wash there, we will vote on September the 9th. All right, so I just want to make sure everybody was clear on everything, as we won't be here on the 2nd. Thank goodness. All right, that's it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do not have a Planning and Zoning Committee, but I do want to make an announcement, a District 6 announcement, that I will also have a town hall meeting this week. It'll be Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Tyner Community Center. Thank you.
Vice Chairwoman Knoll.
No report.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, we have now reached the time in our meeting where we are happy to recognize persons who are here and wish to address the council. If you are here and would like to address the council, please go ahead and line up behind the podium. And whoever's first in line, do me a favor and pull that light up a little bit higher because it is right in my eye. Is there anybody? Looks like we've got one person. All right, go ahead and read the rules, please, Mr. Attorney.
Of course. Sure. At the end of each council business meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public who wish to address the council, and here's your rules.
Thank
Each speaker wishing to address the council can only be recognized at the microphone up front for that purpose. You can't have more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority, and not on matters which are not under their authority or regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. Do not engage in vulgar or obscene language, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others, and address your comments to the council as a whole, and not make comments directed towards individual council members. And lastly, do not engage in disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting which is prohibited by Tennessee law. And someone commits that offense if a person substantially obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Having stated those rules, go ahead, Mr. Bell.
Okay, and thank you, Mr. Attorney and Council. I want to get to this. I've got so much. This is the last time I'm ever going to pack my backpack with the life of Monty Bell and haul it around. It's time for my money. December of last year, I met with the former chair. I was leaving the company of a friend of mine, and I said to the former chair, you need to inform District 6 and everyone else to stop the shenanigans. Apparently, the message didn't go forward. But in January, beginning of the year, my friend unfortunately became victim of a plane crash that was getting ready to land at the Reagan. She's talking to you. The Reagan National Airport, a helicopter flew into her plane. But while she was here, she spoke at the Hamilton County Commission, talked with a black person by the name of Reuben M. Taylor that, like her, he lied, like he does me. It's called black on black crime enforced by whites. With the time remaining, I can't see the clock. You've got until next week, and that's all of you, to get together with your city attorney, whomever they've got appointed at the county. Get with Sharon Daniels and Larry Henry in the circuit court. It's docket number 25C919. Your county chair, Jeff Ebersol, has until Thursday of next week to respond. His failure to do so will put him in the same position as the former editor of the Times Free Press, David Toulis. He will be in default. You want to look at Monty Bell's homeless encampment listed 727 East 11th Street. That's always been my address since I've been here. And you all let a character named Monty Buer challenge that. It was so ridiculous. $211 billion, $34 million you have lost. This lawsuit is in the trillions. I don't know, I can't see 40 seconds. Let me show you what we got here. Docket number 18D1308. It's a false police report filed by your circuit court judge, J.B. Bennett, a character that's been in my life for over 17 years. He's a friend of your city attorney. He's a friend of this person from Lookout Valley that suspended me. Monty Bell is going to visit Lookout Valley in your chicken coop. I think you're gonna be surprised who you bullied. Your chickens will come home to roost. $211 billion, $34 million is what you owe.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Is there anyone else here who would like to address the council tonight? Council seeing none, we are adjourned.